Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be doing the last question for the show today. This question comes from Tebogo. Let's have a look at what Tebogo has to ask us.
Hi Temple, my name is Tebogo. I'm from Restaurant. Guys, there's a question as you can see here on the video which I'm struggling with. I really need your assistance. Please get back to me. Thanks, bye.
Thanks for that question, Tebogo. Guys, it does look a little bit complicated because we do start working with exponents that are raised to the third degree. So that's what happens in matric, but we can use our factor and remainder theorem to then try and solve these equations. Let's have a look at the first equation that Tebogo has asked us. Okay, so in the first equation, it says here x into x squared minus 41 is equal to negative 4 into x squared plus 9. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply out our bracket. So we're going to be left with x cubed minus 41x is equal to negative 4x squared, and negative 4 times 9 is then going to be equal to negative 36. If we take all our terms over to the one side of the equation, we're left with x cubed minus 41x plus 4x squared plus 36 is equal to 0. Now guys, what I like to do when I have these equations, I like to write them in our descending powers of x. So let's rearrange these powers so we have descending powers of x. We have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 41x plus 36 is equal to 0. Okay guys, so we're now at that stage where we've got to try and find a factor using the factor remainder theorem. We're then going to use our calculator to try and find our very first factor. So let's go back to our calculator and we're going to do all those nice steps that Philippa and I've showed you earlier on in the show. So we're going to change our mode to 3. We're going to put in our equation. So we're going to have x raised to the power of 3 plus 4x squared minus 41x plus 36. Okay, we're going to press equals. We're going to start by 1 and we're going to end by 5, and hopefully within that range we're going to find a factor. Look at this. So we have a factor straight away. We have that x equals to 1 is a factor. So x equal to 1 is a factor. Great stuff. So straight away, I want to use synthetic division because we've just learned about synthetic division. Synthetic division is a lot simpler than long division. So we're going to have a look at what that is going to be. So remember, for synthetic division, we're going to have 1. We're going to use all our coefficients. We're going to write them down. We're going to have 1 for negative 41 and 36. We're going to bring down our first coefficient, which is going to be 1. And guys, 1 times 1 is 1. Look how smart I am. We're then going to add these up. We're going to say 4 plus 1 gets me 5. I'm then going to have 1 times 5 is 5. Great stuff. I'm then going to have negative 41 plus 5. That gets me to negative 36. And 1 times negative 36 gets me negative 36. If we add these up, we get 0, and that's exactly what we want. Okay guys, so this tells us that so far we're going to have x minus 1 into x squared plus 5x minus 36. Okay, so if we factorize our next bracket, we can use the quadratic formula, and I want to show you guys something here on the calculator. Okay guys, so if we look on the calculator, I want to change my mode back to 1. All of these coefficients, I'm going to store them. So I'm going to say 1 equals, I'm going to press shift, store, and because it is my first value, I'm going to have it as a. So whenever I press a, it then comes up as 1. I'm going to then store the other value, which is 5. I'm going to press equals, shift, store, and that's going to be b. And my last value, negative 36, I'm going to say shift, store it as c. Hey guys, so previously Philippa showed you that you can just plug the values in as is into the calculator. But in order to avoid sign errors and mistakes, you can plug them in as variables and you can actually look at the calculator, the formula on the calculator. So let me show you what that does. So I'm going to then say negative, press alpha for b, plus for the first factor, I'm going to say alpha b squared minus 4 alpha a alpha c, and that's going to go over to 2 alpha a. Okay, so if I press equals, I get 4 as an answer. So straight away I'm going to say then that x minus 1 multiplied by x, and remember guys, my answer was 4, so I then need to make it negative, so my factor is going to be x minus 4. To try and find the other factor, I'm simply going to change this sign over here to a negative. Okay, and there we go, we get negative 9. So my last factor is then going to be x plus 9. Okay guys, but remember, this isn't what Tebogo asked us to do. Tebogo asked us to solve for x in the following equations. So what we're going to do is, we know that this is always equal to 0. Well, we've equated it to 0 in this first step up top here. So if we equate it to 0, we can use the product 0 theorem, which then says x is going to equal to 1, x is going to equal to 4, and x is going to equal to negative 9. Okay, so that's all that done. Guys, I'm going to have a look at the first question. I'm not going to complete the whole one, but I am just going to show you the first step to take when you start solving these equations. So I'm running a little bit short on time, but I'm just going to show you the very first step to take. So in the first step, we're going to write it in descending powers of x. We're going to say negative 3x squared minus 98x plus 48. Okay, guys. Now, to find the first factor, that's always the most difficult part when it comes to this. It's finding the first factor. If I divide all of these by 2, my last term is going to be 24. So if I divide everything by 2, my last term is 24. This gets me an idea of what my factors are going to be. So if I look at 24, my factors are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, it's going to be 3 and 8, and we can then go on with that. Okay guys, so if I have to plug in this equation into my calculator over here, I'm going to try and find, and hopefully one of these factors will be the first factor. So I'm going to have 1, I'm going to have my mode as 3, 2 alpha x cubed, it's going to be minus 3 alpha x squared, minus 98x, and then minus 48. I'm going to start by 5 and then end by 8. And I'm going to check the first steps. Okay guys, so straight away we have 0 as a factor over there. So we can say that x equals 8 is going to be a factor. And this is the very first part of solving this equation. Okay guys, so when it comes to this, finding the factor is the difficult part. After that, factorizing is straightforward. You can use either synthetic or long division. Okay, guys? So that kind of brings us to the end of our show. I thank you very much for watching. We have been looking at a whole bunch of questions today on factor and remainder theorem. Guys, remember that you can send in your questions. And like Loretta, she won the TV today. Guys, please send in a question. Take a selfie with your face and send in the question. Just point it to the question for a little while so we can see. We want to have your face on television and you can win that TV just like Loretta did today. And you can then send in all your questions on factor and remainder theorem this week. Check out our WhatsApp and Facebook pages for the next topic. Guys, we really thank you for watching the show. Guys, you can always download the app if you want to watch, if you want to see more content. It really is a great app. It's available on Android and iOS. So guys, thanks for that show. And we really thank Liberty for sponsoring the show. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do it without them. So guys, thank you. Stay tuned. And remember, same place tomorrow, 5 to 6. And have a good one, guys.